The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, GWT family. My name is Anne-Marie Chantal, diplomat with Global Wealth Trade. We've been having an incredible summer, as you saw a lot of my pictures. Yeah, I'm out and about everywhere, anywhere at the same time. But there's a lot of things that I wanted to share tonight because I've been reading this incredible book by Tom Schreider, Big Al. He has I think he has 5 books. So I think you're going to feel a little bit about him through what I'm going to share with you tonight, because one of the things that I really like about finding a third party people that have done network marketing, home-based business, multi-level marketing, whatever you want to call it, but people that are really, really highly successful and know how to approach, how to present, how to follow up, what kind of icebreakers out there, what is the magic and the secret behind it. I really find that Big Al has really some good books that are simple reading and also very informative. So he just released this one, and I start reading it, and as I'm reading it, I'm just going through like, wow, I feel that everybody should know about these tips that he's sharing. So I thought, why not putting a training about that? And this training will be a few parts because I'm basically on the go with the books, and I could put only so much. And I want to make sure that I keep those trainings to a short span of time, as well as very informative for you. So here, as you can see on the page, how to follow up with your network marketing prospect. We all would love to turn not now with right now, right? So, I mean, we all heard of our prospects saying anything like, I have to think it over. Now isn't the right time. I'm sorry, I'm really busy. Not now, maybe later. Now, of course, a prospect could be politely and telling us that they're not interested, but they are prospect, aren't they? So certainly they are interested in opportunity, but sometimes it's holding them back. So, are they afraid to make a decision too quickly? Are they uncomfortable with us? Was the presentation overwhelming? Whatever the reason for delaying, we must follow up with our prospect. Now, follow up doesn't have to be scary. We don't have to feel guilty or nervous. We don't have to suffer through the pain of prospect that avoid our calls, right? So because it all goes with the proper follow-up, means we have great conversation with our prospect. Our prospect look forward to our call, right? We're always in rapport, and rapport is very important. That's something that you might want to take a look at how to create rapport through Big Al's book as well. And also when the time is right for our prospect, we're there, right? Whoops, let me turn this off. Thank you. So sounds like fun, right? So if you use the technique of the book that I'm sharing to move your prospect forward from a not now to a right now, it would really help you. Now, let me just go. There's the myth or incompetency. Now, the average sales or decision takes 7 visits by a salesman. Well, really? I don't know if that's true, but if it's just a myth to keep salespeople optimistic about hearing a no from the same prospect, if it's sorry, I'm looking for my word properly. Like, I personally don't think that is true. I think, I mean, sometimes you need different exposure. That's yes, but sometimes I find that it's just a myth, because there is people, first when they're a prospect, there's always some people that will buy right away. So why is that? Well, there's number one is the perfect timing. Maybe the timing is good that the prospect has to make a decision right away. For example, the prospect falls down and hurts in his knee, and let's say that we sell pain solution. Well, how awesome is that? right? Or a doctor is telling a prospect, you need to lose weight now, and it happened that we sell a diet solution. I'm just giving an example here. Or better, your boss yells at your prospect, the prospect's coworker trim his toenail at work, and now the prospect is stuck in commuter traffic. Our prospect is not ready to act now. Yes, timing is everything, right? Now, number 2 is perfect rapport. We know our prospect, we have perfect rapport with our prospect. It is easy to make an instant decision with someone you trust, and prospect will buy and join with the person they trust. However, if your prospect doesn't believe us or doesn't trust us, nothing is going to happen. So the offer can be the greatest offer in the world, but when they don't feel comfortable with a salesman, we delay our final decision as long as possible. Make sense? Because professional network marketers consistently work on improving the rapport technique. For instance, a yes decision are fun to get. So unfortunately, when we first started our network marketing career, we don't have those skills, and it's a lot of things to learn, and we don't master everything on the first day, right? So this second, there are prospects who don't join or don't buy right away. Now, why would that be? Well, number 1, it could also be bad timing. Uh, our, our offer could be perfect, but the prospect circumstances could be awful. For example, somebody lost a job, our prospect is completely focused on survival and finding another job to pay the bills. We are an unnecessary distraction at that moment. Or another example is, let's say somebody's working overtime at work. There's not much time for life when the employer takes up every minute of the day. Or somebody's moving, the second most stressful event in one's life, which is moving, no time to humor a salesman and sit down for a presentation, right? It could be a family issue when our children have problems in their life or attention on fixing those problems. Coming to a follow-up meeting or webinar is far down on the list. Or it could also be like a relationship difficulties, right? Lots of drama and no time to think about your offer. So it could be a bad timing. Now, another thing that could be is distraction. Our prospect might be distracted with an email alert and forget to go to our webpage. Or worse, there is an incoming call, an urgent request from a child, or the doorbell. Your offer quickly fade into the background and never to be considered again. So distraction is huge. There's also a number 3, the bad sales presentation. The prospect needs our product or service, but our presentation was amateur and awful. Maybe we committed one of these presentations since that distance us from the prospect, right? I mean, maybe you read the PowerPoint presentation on a flip chart to your prospect, and the prospect was reading, would just find it so boring, right? Or maybe we show the prospect a commercial video, and if our prospect can stand to watch a 30-second commercial video on TV, forcing them to watch a 10-minute video would be deadly for them as well. So it could be any of that kind of presentation, right? Now, another one would be a bad skills. So let's say you're bored on a plane and the pilot says, "Welcome aboard. I don't know how to fly this plane, but I have a great attitude and I'm very motivated." Would you get on the plane? Of course not. Well, prospect can smell incompetency. If we're unpracticed and unsure, prospect will avoid doing business with us. Excuse me. Prospects are desperate for someone to follow, but only want to follow someone who knows where he or she's going and has the skills to get there. Not many prospects are ready to jump on an incompetency mission. I hope that makes sense. So here, let's focus on what we can do let's focus on what we can control so that we can get a yes decision. So while we cannot control the bad timing in our prospect life, the distraction, we can at least control our presentation and mastery of our skills. So what we can do is, if we come across a prospect who doesn't say yes right away, this is when a follow-up begins. If we have built instant rapport and belief, influence, and trust, right? So then your follow-up will be easy. You have to have those. The instant trust, belief, influence, and rapport, that's what makes it easy. By having good rapport on our first contact with your prospect, they will look forward to your second contact. We won't have the unanswered voicemail message and people refusing to acknowledge our follow-ups. Unless there is a future communication, all hope is good. Okay? So when we follow up with prospect, what are they really unsure about, or what holds them back? So here's the follow-up secret that will make the difference. So the prospect don't understand everything about our business, and they won't understand anything fully until they have experienced the business for a while. So now your prospects are desperate to change their life, but what prospects are really looking for is a trust path and a trusted guide for their future access. They want to know this. Number one, if you know where you're going. And if you don't, then you better find out. Number two, if you know how to get there. And number three, if you have the skills to teach them how to get there also. So focus on the real issue. Build that like and trust and rapport with your prospect, and then show them that your skills will get them to their desired success. So for now on, let's assume that our sales presentation and skills are adequate. Okay? Now what? That leaves timing as the issue. So what happened in the average day of your prospect? How does the follow-ups help to change the prospect from a no to a yes decision? Well, there's three effects of the follow-up, and they're very simple. I hope you're writing this down, actually. Number one is repetition. Number two is sorting. And number three is the moving parade. So let's take an example, the billboard repetition effect. This is how repetition works in follow-ups. Let's say 5 days a week, I drive to a gym to work out. Same route every time. I pass the dentist, the dry cleaner, the coffee shop, and the same 5 billboards. Unless there's something out of the ordinary, I don't even remember the drive. But one day, while I return from the gym, a billboard appeared from a brand new Italian restaurant, and I love Italian food. And after working out, I'm hungry. But the timing, it's a bad timing. I have another appointment to go to. But the next day, while I'm coming home from the gym again, I remember the Italian restaurant on the billboard. Well, this time I noticed that their specialty was the wood fire oven pizza, and now my stomach is gargling with anticipation. But this weekend schedule was filled with errands and activity with the kid, and again, the timing doesn't really work out. By now, the billboard had faded away in the automatic drive to the gym. A few days later, I was reminded of the Italian restaurant. Why? Because I found a door-hanging flyer on the front door. It was the new Italian restaurant advertising its wood-fire oven pizzas. I quickly stuck the flyers on my fridge so I wouldn't forget it this time. So next time I'm hungry, I can go there. Now the Italian restaurant flyer got lost in the shovel of the fridge wall craziness, right? So 1 month later, I drove back to the gym. My stomach growled. I'm like, calories, give me more calories. And then I look up, and what did I saw? I'm sure you guessed it. The billboard of my dream, right? The billboard I had ignored and forgotten for months. Yes, that Italian restaurant was calling my name. In just a few minutes, I was seated in that booth, looking at the menu, texting my friend to join me for that Italian restaurant. So guess what? Follow-up pays. The Italian restaurant now has my repeat business, and I am I am a walking salesman recommending the food everywhere I go. The Italian restaurant has the repeat business of many of my friends as well. We're committed a long-term customer. The Italian restaurant doesn't need to advertise to us again. We're a fan now. So how much did that restaurant pay for that billboard? Well, probably thousands of dollars. Did the restaurant recoup the cost of the billboard? Well, I think between my friends and I, we probably paid for that billboard ourselves, right? And now, if my friends and I ate enough food to pay for the billboard, just think about all the other drivers who saw that billboard. Did they have similar experience? I bet some did. Between the billboard and some door hanger, the restaurant kept following up with us and others. Yes, follow-up pays. But what if the billboard was only up for a day, right? That Italian restaurant would have wasted its money. Multiple exposure guarantee that when the timing is right for our prospect, we are right there, right in front of our prospect. Billboards don't have feelings. Every day the billboard announces that the Italian restaurant is open for business. Prospects see it and ignore this billboard daily. Only a few prospects notice the billboard while driving to their daily routine. Does that mean prospects are rejecting the restaurant or the billboard every day? No. It just means that today it's not their day. Maybe the timing will be better another day. Right? So we need this type of attitude when following up with prospect. Our prospects forget about us. Our follow-up reminds our prospects of our offer. And who knows, maybe today will be their day to take advantage of our offer. So follow-up means we can serve that prospect when they're ready. This could mean a lifetime of repeat business. The next effect is the mall sorting. So the second effect of following up is the sorting effect. As a prospect, we sort ourselves by ignoring all those that we don't need. So, example, our local mall has over 200 stores. I'm not a frequent visitor, but personally, I spend as little time as possible at the mall. But others, they love to shop. They live to shop. Window shopping isn't just a pastime. For them, window shopping is a career. These people constantly stroll the mall in the hopes of finding something new to buy. Thousands of people go to the mall every week. So some will go directly to one store and then leave. That's what I do. Some will go to a few stores and notice other stores during their mall visit. These people, window shoppers, will go to every store. So think of your follow-up like owning a store in the shopping mall. Your follow-ups means you're visible to every person who walks past your store that day, and if you're not there, these prospects will forget you exist. These daily prospects sort themselves. You don't have to determine if their timing is right. Just think of yourself as one of the stores in the mall. The cell phone store in the mall, who most of the shoppers are under contract. The jewelry store in the mall knows most of the shoppers don't need jewelry every day, right? The shoe store in the mall knows that most of the shoppers bought shoes recently. The burger stand in the mall, in the food court, knows that most of the shoppers might want to eat something else sometime. And in our business, for many of our prospects, today is simply another day. So again, your job is to be in front of the prospect when the prospect is ready. Now, let's move that to the moving parade. effect. By the way, let's talk about the rejection. Thousands of people walk by each of those stores in the mall every week, right? As a store owner, you don't even notice that the majority of mall shopper walks past your store without even glancing at you. Your focus is only on those shoppers who walked into your store because today is their day. There isn't any rejection, it's only sorting. So they just do business as usual. So if you're following up with multiple prospects, consider this as a rejection free as owning a store in a mall. Your job is just to be in front of those people when the prospect timing is right. That's it. So the moving parade effect, well, it's fear of rejection makes follow-up a problem. Our internal conversation might go like this. Oh, I might be bothering my prospect with my follow-up call, or now is not a good time to mail a reminder. What if I interrupt my prospect? I hope the prospect will remember me and remember what I propose to them. What if it isn't a good time again? What if they say no? What if they reject me? Should I just be looking for a new prospect 100% of the time? So, rejection has nothing to do with us personally. Rejection is usually not about our opportunity or products. Rejection is usually only about the timing of the offer. Most prospects are ideal for network marketing, provided that we present the opportunity when the conditions are best for them. Your prospect is not ready to join your network marketing every single day of the year. For instance, for the first 18 years of your prospect's life, he is underage and unable to become distributor most of the time, right? Hardly maybe he become a race car driver, a professional party animal, or probably not the ideal network marketer prospect. Only sometime later will the prospect conditions or situation will be right to make a decision to join your company. So think about yourself. When you launch your mall, the condition were right for you. However, during the previous year, there were, I'm sure, numerous times when these conditions were unfavorable for your entry into network marketing. So maybe you had a personal relationship problem, a medical condition that demands your entire attention, a job you love, hobbies that held great interest, friendship you wanted to make, extended travel plans, or anything like that would take your attention. So then suddenly the conditions were right for your entrance in network marketing. Maybe your job was no longer stable or became boring. Perhaps you desire financial freedom, or possibly a career change just felt right. Maybe a certain network marketing products touched your family's life. For whatever reason, the timing was right. So that brings a lot of the timing, right? There's the timing that was right, and then the rejection timing. So we explained to our new distributor that this 10 best friend rejected the timing, not the opportunity or the distributor personally. All 10 friends will be excellent prospect at a later date when the condition change. Okay, so the moving parade concept is another way to describe this as a new distributor. I would say something like, this is a new distributor who is afraid of rejection. Imagine you're sitting on a grandstand watching a parade move by. The only prospect who would be qualified for your network marketing opportunity are those prospects who are marching directly in front of your grandstand. That means those same people are unqualified prospects before they pass your grandstand, and again, become unqualified after they passed, right? The only time that prospects are qualified is during the short period of time when they are marching directly in front of your stand. If they're not interested, it has nothing to do with you. It only means that the prospects are not marching directly in front of your stand. So now the hurt of the rejection goes away. Our distributor understands that timing can make a huge difference in how prospect responds. And the last here I want to share with you is that what is a follow-up really? Let me just, okay, so if timing is the issue in our prospect, then follow-up is just being there at the right time. There's a good reason to keep the relationship open and warm. When the time is right, then the prospect you want to, when the timing is right for your prospect, you want the prospect to think of you and think of you well, right? But what about the other reason you need to follow up with your prospect? What happens when we have to follow up because we didn't give a good presentation or our skills of communication were less adequate? So here's the thing, you want to be moving closer to a decision. In those cases, we should remember that the purpose of our follow-up should be moving the prospect forward toward a decision to join or to buy, right? So our reason for each contact with our prospect is to help the prospects feel better about us and lean more about our business and what we offer. So the bottom line is that we want to move the prospect to a yes or a no decision with every contact. If we concentrate on providing more information and benefits to move a prospect forward, we will avoid the chit-chat that wasted a prospect time. And it will bring them the respect. So let's compare these two. Whoops, my bad. So anyway, let's compare those two scenarios here. Number one, you call your prospect and you say, oh, how are you doing? How's the weather? What have you been up to these days? Well, we may be attempting to build rapport, but prospects are pressed for time. They have a job, family, television, internet, and more. Most prospects can invest a lot of time in the chit-chat, okay? So the scenario number two, instead, you call your prospect during your conversation and say, hey, I know you have to pay tax on your wage, but did you know that having an extra part-time business could give you that same tax deduction that the big businesses get? Or maybe you could say, you mentioned earlier that you had some interest in our on getting paid to wear and promote designer good. I just find out two new things about our business I would like to share with you. Or maybe you can say something like, when we met, you told me you love to travel. Well, guess what? The company just announced a free trip incentive that we can qualify for a free trip on a cruise coming up. Would you like to know more about it? So follow-up has two goals. Number one is creating rapport and building a relationship. And number two is moving the prospect forward towards a yes to a no. So I hope you got a lot of value from this today. I'm gonna stop the training here because it's already 9:30, and I like to keep this as 15 to 30 minutes max. But for today, if you have any questions, if you have anything, I mean, I know it's a lot of information, and I'm sure you got a lot of value from all of this. Again, I got all these PowerPoint that I made today based on this amazing book, How to Follow Up. And I really, really find, I know for me, it's helping me. So if it's helping me, I trust it will help you. And if you want to go get it, go on Amazon.com and go look for it. If not, that's perfectly fine with me. I mean, your business, you do what you want with it. But if you really want a great success, I would strongly suggest you to go get all the Gal's book and sharpen your skills of rapport. So building rapport, icebreaker, all the secrets that he shares are phenomenal. So if there's any questions, you can write in the question box. Yeah, you can write in your question box here. I do have a question here. What do you say if they already have a home-based business? Well, you know what? And that's a great question. Most people that already have a home-based business are open to implement something. So usually, the way I bring it up would be like, "Oh, that's great." I would ask them questions and see what they might be lacking and what they like about it. So I always ask the two questions: what do you like about your home-based business? And if there was anything you could change or you could implement in your home-based business, what would that be? Or if they tell me they're in health and wellness, which most of people are because that's the biggest competitor aside, I say, wow, you're in health and wellness. Well, I'm in a designer fashion house. I mean, health and wellness is great for maybe money now, but what about a legacy for later? You could probably implement what I do and do both and make great money. So there's all kinds of different ways to approach that. You can always give me a call, or I can send you from ourgwt.com. There's a handling objection, or yeah, send me a quick text, and I can share with you a few different ways as well that I would share this. Another great question I have here is how often do you follow up, weekly, monthly, yearly? Excuse me. That's also a great question. They're all good. Weekly, monthly, yearly. For me, I tend to, when I talk to somebody, I don't finish with, okay, we'll talk to you later. I always finish, I always, through the conversation, book a time for the next time. So if somebody said, yeah, I'm going to watch this training, it's okay. Well, when do you know for sure you'll have time to watch it? I'd love to follow up with you to see what you like about it. Right. So that they say, well, it's summertime, August, give me 2 weeks. And the first week of September, I'll have watched it for sure. Oh, okay. So here, let's write it down. I'll write it in my calendar. Maybe you can do the same. Or like, I will literally book a time with them if I'm on the phone with them, Skype, one-on-one. Like, I always book. It doesn't matter where I am. In terms of follow up, and then when I call them, or I meet with them for coffee or whatever reason, sometimes they have excuses, and I totally understand the excuse, or I will say, yeah, life is busy. When do you know for sure? Like now they kind of forgot about me, right? But now they remember, and I follow up with them, which means I'm serious. So they usually are very happy that I follow up, and they say, yeah, I'll listen. Then I will say something to them like, well, can you watch it like today or tomorrow? I really want you to hear this because you remember when we talk about this free trip, that will help you to get there. Or, whatever the conversation, everybody's different. So there's no magic weekly, monthly, yearly. I think it's the magic of setting that next exposure so they know you'll be following up, but as well as they're expecting you. Or maybe they'll follow up before you have time. Sometimes it's great when somebody's very serious about the business that they, you send them here, I'm going to send you this link or this thing to review. And after they review it, I tell them, call me. And say, oh, okay, great. Okay, well, when can I expect your call? Oh, I'll call you tomorrow, around dinner time. So I said, oh, great. So if I don't hear your call by tomorrow evening, like let's say 8:30, would it be okay if I call you back? Oh, yeah, absolutely. So now if they don't call me, I'm still going to call them. I know by that time that they probably haven't watched what I send them or read or, right? Whatever it is. So, but at least we're following up that way. So hopefully that answered your question, because follow up is a very, very big key of our business. I mean, there's so many saying in network marketing that follow up is everything. You can talk with hundreds of people. If you don't follow up with hundreds of them, you probably don't have anybody helping, launching your virtual designer mall with you. But if you follow up with those 100 or even 20 of them, you're just increasing your chances because people sometimes needs more than one exposure to it. So I don't see any other questions. I don't see any hand raise here. I said thank you, a great training. Yeah, so I really hope you got a lot of this. I did record that. If you have any questions, anything above and beyond, just email me or Facebook me, call me, text me, anything. I'm here for you. Let's do this together, and we will rise Alberta into a very fast growing GWT family. Have a good evening, morning, or afternoon, wherever you are.